This is for the Fallout Universes Beyond set. I've not actually opened one of these boosters yet. The set's been out for a little while now, and I bought the commander deck that I wanted, which was the Mothman one, which makes Mill really fun. It's quite a good deck. I will do a video on it at some point, but yeah, managed to come across one of these in the wild. They've been quite desirable collector boosters because of the serialized cards in them. But yeah, let's open it up. And like I always do for these collector boosters, I'll go through each card. And who knows, we might get lucky and open up a serialized card. So, there we go. Let's try and get this focused a bit. There we go. So, at the very front there we have a Surge Foil Island. I'm not 100% sure how much these go for. I know the Surge foiling can definitely multiply the value of the card, but for the basic lands I'm not so sure. Next up we have a Surge foiling Woodland Cemetery. So it's a non-basic land that enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a swamp or a forest, and it taps for black or green. Not a crazy expensive land, but a very useful one in Commander. It will definitely go into a deck. Next up we have in regular foiling Legate Lanius Caesar's Ace, which for 2, a black and a red, you get a 2/2 human soldier. It has Decimate. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a 1/10 of the creatures they control, rounded up. Whenever an opponent sacrifices a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So it's potentially a 4-drop 5/5 that forces your opponent to sack some creatures. And then in regular foiling again, we have Kate, Cage, Brawler, a red and a green for a 1/1 human warrior. As long as your turn, Kate has indestructible. And whenever she attacks, you and defending player each draw a card. Then discard a card. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on Kate if you discarded the card with the highest mana value among those cards, or tied for the highest. She seems like an interesting commander to build around. And then next up in regular foiling, we have Vault 13, which is a saga. 3 and a white for an enchantment saga. Law counter 1 is, for each player, exile up to 1 other target enchantment or creature that player controls until Vault 13 leaves the battlefield. Law counter 2 is, you gain 2 life and scry 2. And then the third law counter is, return 2 cards exiled with Vault 13 onto the battlefield under their owner's control and put the rest on the bottom of their owner's library. Okay, so that's an interesting one. It helps deal with problems on each player's board, I suppose. Oh wow, that's a nice hit. It's just in the regular foiling by the looks of it. But this is Guardian Project. 3 and a green for an enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature you control, or a creature in your graveyard, draw a card. Oh, sorry, I'm having issues here. And next up we have a commander card. This is Preston Garvey Minuteman. For 2, a red, a green and a white, you get a 4/4 human soldier. In the beginning of combat on your turn, create a green aura enchantment token named Settlement attached to up to 1 target land you control. It has enchant land. An enchanted land has add 1 mana of any colour. And then whenever Preston Garvey attacks, untap each enchanted permanent you control. We have another non-basic here. Glacial Fortress. When it enters the battlefield tapped, unless you control a plains or an island, and it taps for white or blue. Again, not a super expensive card, but a useful one. And then in regular foiling here, we have Lily Bowen, Raging Grandma. For 3 and a green, you get a 0/0 mutant warrior with vigilance. And when Lily Bowen enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it, at the beginning of your upkeep, double the number of +1/+1 counters on Lily Bowen if its power is 16 or less. Otherwise, remove all but 1 +1/+1 counter. Then you gain 1 life for each +1/+1 counter removed this way. Oh wow, that's another nice hit from the set, definitely. So, Heroic Intervention. 1 and a green for an instant. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. And this is in a Surge foil. We have Assaultron Dominator. 1 and a red for a 2/2 robot. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 energy counters. And whenever an artifact creature you control attacks, you may pay 1 energy. If you do, put your choice of a +1/+1 counter, first strike counter or trample counter on that creature. And then we have a Surge foil, Temple of Silence. It's a non-basic land that enters the battlefield tapped, and when it enters you scry 1, and you can tap it for white or black. And then we have a Surge Struggle for Project Purity. 3 and a blue for an enchantment. As Struggle for Project Purity enters the battlefield, choose Brotherhood or Enclave. Brotherhood is at the beginning of your upkeep. Each opponent draws a card, and you draw a card for each card drawn this way. So very nice, repeatable card draw. Or Enclave, whenever a player attacks, you Surge foil in there. And then we have the Pip-Boy Arcane Signet. I actually bought some of these as singles because I liked the artwork, but getting another one is always good. So it's a 2 mana artifact that you can tap to add 1 mana of any colour in your commander's colour identity. Oh, and then we've also got just a regular foil by the looks of it. Watchful Rad Stag, which again I think was in the Mothman Precon. 2 and a green for a 2/2 elk mutant. It has Evolve, and Evolve is whenever a creature with greater power enters the battlefield, you get an Evolve trigger, which is when it evolves you create a token that's a copy of it. So this card can go very wide very quickly in certain decks. And then, oh, that is foil. I have a foil energy reserve token. Does it have a other side? Oh yes, there you go. Oh, you can get a 1/1 warrior as well, which is pretty cool. I've actually built a warrior deck recently. So that is a Fallout collector booster. I've definitely made my money back because Guardian Project and Heroic Intervention are 2 pricey cards, and they're in foil. But I'm not too sure about the others. But there's useful lands in there for sure as well. And I want to say the Pip-Boy art cards have gone up in price as well recently. But yeah, quite happy with that pack overall. So let's put those down. I've been Foamy ASMR. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And if you leave a comment below, I'll reply back to you. Maybe you could mention if you want to see more of these collector boosters opened, because I'm happy to do that if people are enjoying them. And I'll see you in the next video.